So we'll start off by taking a big picture look at what single page applications are, what are the features you need to build single page applications, and what features does AngularJS offer to satisfy those features. And you're going to see it offers a lot. Everything from routing to an MVC type of pattern to data binding, AJAX calls, and much more are built in out of the box. Now, once we've looked at the big picture, we're going to jump into specifics on views, directives, and filters. All three are very important in the AngularJS world. Views, of course, represent our web pages we show the user. Directives are a really special little feature of AngularJS that drive our HTML and really teach HTML new tricks. And then filters can be used, as you'd probably infer, to filter data, or you can actually use them to format data. Next up will be controllers, scope, and modules, and we're going to talk about what a controller is, how you can bind data in a controller to a view using something called the scope, and how we can place controllers into containers called modules. From there, we'll talk about a really important concept in SPAs and AngularJS, and that is routing. I'm going to introduce a special piece of the framework, something called a route provider, that we can use to define different routes that a user might want to navigate to. So for instance, they might, when they click a button, go to the customer's route, or maybe when they click a hyperlink, they go to the orders route. We'll talk about how to configure routes, how to marry up controllers and views, and much more along the way. As you work with AngularJS, you'll find that some of your code might get duplicated in places. Well, services and factories provide a great way to put reusable code into a central area. They're singleton objects, objects that are just created once in memory, and you can reuse them and call them from other components in AngularJS. We can use them for things like business rules, making AJAX calls, maybe you have calculations, and much more. Really anything that's reusable that you want to put in one place. And then finally, we're going to talk about animations. Now, animations certainly aren't required with your AngularJS applications, but they can really add that professional look and feel. We can slide different views in as they load. Maybe as data is filtered, we fade it in or fade it out, and much more. So we're going to talk about CSS transitions, CSS animations, and how we can hook these CSS classes into our different directives. Now, as we move along in this course, I'm going to be building a simple AngularJS application and would highly encourage you to follow along with me. And let me show you what this application looks like. The application that we're going to be building throughout the course displays customers and orders data. Now, as I move along throughout the different modules, I'll build parts of the app. So the app will start out extremely basic, and then we'll add and add and add until we get a finished app like the one you see here. Now we're also going to integrate a little bit of Bootstrap into the mix, which is a CSS responsive framework to make it look a little bit nicer. We'll do that towards the end of the course. But as we click on things, it is interactive. It does actually touch a backend service as well to get the data. So as an example, we can display customers, we have some sorting functionality, and we can even come in and filter. So we have all that functionality. We can drill into orders for a given customer, have some different animations along the way, and we can get all orders, do some dynamic totaling, and even do some filters here as well. So let's go ahead and get started and jump into the first module.